I think hope for me has been a huge lesson, because it's been probably one of the most uh, deceitful things that I've I've had in my life, like to have hope and to put my hope in the wrong things, can be very, very detrimental in the long run, for like letdowns and
Oh
unmet
yeah. Hmm.
expectations. And I hear that, sorry, I hear that a lot with people, especially, um, recovering drug addicts and alcoholics, is that, they we lose hope, and or I've hoped for this, I've hoped for that for so long.
Hmm.
And once I found that if I put hope in my abilities, if I put hope in me, and I put hope in God's plan and God's love, and not like the outcome, or if
Hmm.
this happens, this will happen, or God, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, or I hope I get recognized for that, or whatever the hope is. If the hope isn't within me, or my ability to just overcome anything, or my ability to be able to be sharpened, or my ability to allow myself to fail. Have a train going by.
Oh, it's okay.
Um, Once I started to understand how hope actually worked in that aspect, hope stopped being detrimental to me. Like,
Right, right.
it stopped putting me in situations where I was giving up on myself,
Hmm.
trying to hope a situation into reality. You
Right.
know, like falling out of my frame in order to chase something that I wanted to happen, but it wasn't in God's will. Like you said
Right.
today, it wasn't in God's will for you to make that video.
Yeah.
And sometimes hope hope can destroy us in that pursuit of making that video. You
Oh yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. I have an
and then
agenda. I have a plan, right?
yeah, and then before you know it, like, you're upset, and then that starts that cycle, that crazy thought cycle, that now I'm upset, now I'm upset that I'm upset, now I'm upset at myself for being upset, and and then it just
Uh,
goes into that, and yeah. So really, it's like finding out these traps that we set ourselves up for. Like, we,
right.
we set our own traps, and
We
like,
do.
one thing is for sure, I've come to understand that every time I solve a problem, I'm just creating the next one.
uh,
So it's
it's
like,
good
do I
stuff.
want to deal with better problems or harder problems?
Right, right. uh, as you're talking, I was reminded of a Bible story we hear in Sunday school a lot, but the three Hebrew children, and they were supposed to bow at the image when they play the music, and they were to bow down, and there was something that they said there, and it's exactly what we're talking about here. And he said, they said the God that they serve was able to deliver them, and even if he wasn't, uh, they weren't going to bow. And so they were saying, I trust in God's ability, and He has the ability to do this. But even if He doesn't, and I find that faith missing. I know I was missing it for a long time, and that is we get so attached to the outcome. Like the outcome was, God delivering them. Um, then of course, even if they didn't get the outcome, they were still going to stand upon what they believed, and that is the strong, powerful faith. There's so many times I put expectations upon God, um, for a certain job, for a certain amount of money. Um, I remember a couple years ago visualizing, um, how much money that I wanted to make, and then going into petition and actually expecting God to like be my little genie and give me what I want. And it's like we do these crazy things, but they're all attached to expectations and outcomes, and it does very, very much turn God into this this sort of genie that is at our command. But I have found that life just life is not that way. And the expectations and the hope that you talked about, they could be very dangerous. Now I know that God's going to take care of me and God's going to provide for me, but I have it in my mind how He's going to do it.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, God, you're going
And
to
if it
do
don't
it
look
this way.
that way,